Yusein Bολτ, welcome to Gazzetta.
I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much for being here. First of all, how are you?
I'm good. Relax. I'm here in Mykonos, so it's nice.
This is not your first time in Greece in general, obviously. But this time you're not here for your Olympic stage. Yeah. This time you're here for your big collaboration, Abla. If you want to talk a little bit about that as we start.
Well, we are here in Monaco to open a boutique in the city. We've seen it. It's wonderful. I'm excited. I'm always happy to be a part of anything Ublo do. We've been doing this for years. I've been ambassador for at least 15, 16 years. So I'm always excited to travel around with them. They bring me to some nice places. You know what I mean? So it's always wonderful. So I'm excited to see the store tomorrow, and it's going to be wonderful.
I think it's really nice to see you, coming off the field and just start doing something more professional where you can actually give other aspects of yourselves where we've seen. Is that also part of the reason why you wanted to do a collaboration like that?
Yeah, definitely. You try to collab with great brands. Ublo is one of the biggest brand there is. So for me, I'm always excited to be a part of something like this. And it shows other athletes that you can do other things other than just be an athlete. So for me, for sure it is.
Before we continue talking about this, because I think that the reason why you picked watches is because probably you have to do something with the time. Probably time is your thing. I want to take you back a little bit. I want to take you back to your track and field years because it's something that we all like to reminisce when we hear Yusein Bολτ. You did your debut here in Greece, obviously, in Athens, back in 2004 for the Olympic stage. Do you remember your experience from then? Did you know what was coming then?
No, for me it was my first time competing in the Olympics. So for me, I was just excited to be here. I was really young. I think I was 18 at the time. Yeah. So I was just excited to make the team and to be in the presence. And it was so different from a world championship because it was all sports. So you get to see everybody, and we were in a village. So it was just totally different. It was a totally different aspect, and it was just an experience for me, and it was wonderful. You
were like a young, super talented with huge potential. And since you were young, I wanted to ask you if you remember kind of like looking up to another athlete of track and field, if you even remember like Greek people being here and just looking up to them, if you want to.
For me, coming up, it was mainly Jamaicans at the time, you know what I mean? Because Asaf was running pretty well at that time when he was on his breakout season that year. I've always looked up to Don Quarry, which was a 200-meter specialist in Jamaica. So coming into this, all my coaches was telling me, listen, just relax. I know it's going to be tough, but just enjoy the experience because it's good to experience something so you understand what to expect the next time around. So for me, being here as a young athlete was just wonderful. I had a tough season leading up to the championship, so the fact that I got there was very good. And
not just you just got there. 4 years later, you go back to the Olympics and you break world records. I want you to just talk to me a little bit about the things that changed, not just in your body, that obviously has to change as an athlete, but also in your mind. If you remember things that you had to necessarily change in order to get there, to be the difference maker.
Well, definitely. I changed coach the next year. In 2005, I started with Glenn Mills, and we had a 3-year plan leading towards the Beijing Olympics. We kind of started and worked together, and it wasn't easy because my mind was still young. I was still going through a few injuries, but we kind of sat down throughout the seasons. We broke them down and kind of work our way to understand what we needed to do to be on the great stage. And I think what really changed was in 2007, I ran in Osaka, and I thought I was ready. I was in great shape, and I lost to Tyson Gay that year. And we kind of went back to coach. I was like, coach, you know what, I thought I was ready. And he goes, no, you need to do this, you need to do that. And 2008 was the year I really said, you know what, I'm going to commit fully. I was getting more mature and understanding what it's necessary to be a champion. So I kind of grew throughout the years leading up from the last Olympics.
I kind of want to go through this a little bit. The fact that you decided you have to be more mature about it. Do you want to explain a little bit about that? Because I think that people don't really talk about mindset.
For me, I was very talented growing up. So it was kind of easy. I was winning World Juniors, World Youths. So it was
you were like, we have to take it seriously now.
Yeah, so I was having
now
fun.
Something is happening.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then you kind of get to the senior level and it's a different game. Everybody on that level is training hard, is working hard. It's a job, you know what I mean? So I came into the senior level just having fun and still has the mindset of a kid, you know what I mean? I didn't have a massive goal or what I wanted to do or in the sports itself. So it took me a while to understand that if you're on this level, if you want to be great, you have to make goals, you have to change your mindset, you have to be more stronger, sacrifices. So it took time, and with the people around me kind of to explain and to help me to understand when I make a goal, what it takes to get there.
Was this the moment where you decided that, or actually that you realized that you were not just fast, but you were world class?
I've always known I was good, but I never knew how good I could have become. You know what I mean? So it took my agent and my coach and friends and family to really help me to say, listen, yes, you said you want to do this, but how are you going to get there? You know what I mean? I
know we're talking a lot about, you know, kind of like gradually understanding and realizing it, but do you remember maybe a race where you actually had and then you thought, this is it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 07 World Championship.
07? That was it?
That was it. That was the day. Because I thought I was prepared. I thought I was ready to win. And when I lost, I kind of went back to my coach and I was having a conversation. I was like, oh, I thought I had it. And he kind of broke it down for me and explained why I didn't win. And when he said that, I was like, all right, coach, next season, I'm going to fully commit to what you say. And that's what I did.
You exude a lot of confidence and you exude a lot of security with your own abilities and talent and everything. And I know you talked a little bit about sacrifices, and I really want you to tell us if there was ever a moment in your career that people never really saw behind the scenes type of moment, like the difference making in your performance, in your anything.
I think people don't see the work. No one does unless you're close to the person. You know what I mean? I think people, the fans and everybody, they stand and watch how you compete. And I learned this at a young age that I'm doing this for myself first. I think a lot of young athletes, and I always said this to them because when I was younger, I was always focused on trying to make everybody else happy. You know what I mean? I was like, oh my God, I need to make the fans proud. I need to make my parents proud. I was always saying they, but at no point in time I was saying, you know what, I need to do this for myself. And the older I got, I figured out, listen, I have to do this for myself first because I want to be great. Yes, everybody else wants to see me do good, but I want to be great. I want to do great things. And that was a moment a lot changed for me because I kind of blocked the outside noise out and just focused on myself. Even when I was getting injuries, I was like, you know what, I just need to take my time, work, and get back to where I needed to be.
You know what always impressed people? You were always very relaxed before your races. Was it something that was coming from your routine? Was it from practice? Was it just from within? Because I think that I'm an athlete too, as I said before, it comes from within. It has to come from within. So what was your type of mentality?
For me, it was just my personality coming out. I was always the person that likes to have fun, likes to dance, just a vibe. And it just came out in different ways. And I just love what I do. So I just continued doing it through my career. And then I found out that people really enjoy seeing it. So it became bigger and bolder. So.
Where do you cross the line though? Like, I mean, you were out there dancing sometimes and you were just having fun. Where do you cross the line between having fun, this is what I love to do, and this is also my profession, and I'm also being an example for other young people? I said to you before we started the interview that I would go on and watch your races. Before you were done, you were probably done. I was watching the Olympics where you were finishing first and you were breaking your own records. I recall the broadcaster's voice saying, he broke his own record. Where do you draw the line?
For me, it's just one for me. It comes together. I'm a whole package, you know what I mean? It was never I'm not going to be this person, I'm not going to do this. I remember the first time when I won in the Olympics in 08 and I beat my chest. I remember a lot of people saying, oh, it's disrespectful. And I kind of went back to the athletes because I wasn't sure. And I was like, did you feel disrespected? And they said, listen, if we won like you did, we probably do the same thing. You know what I mean? And that's something that let me know that I can be myself, you know what I mean? So from then on, I tried not to do anything while I'm in the race, but after, I just to be myself, just to show the respect to the athletes. But for me, I try to be myself. And when I'm prepared and I know I work hard, then it makes me relax. So that's always a key thing also.
Did you ever feel the pressure that you have to keep your standards high? Meaning the pressure of you just cannot lose type of thing?
Yeah, for sure. This is always going to be there, you know what I mean? But as I said, it was never, I didn't make, the pressure was not from outside. It was personal, you know what I mean? It was something that I said to myself, because when I won the first Olympics and we kind of said, it was great, and people are saying, oh, this has never been done before, he's a legend. And I kind of sat down, I was like, why are they saying I'm a legend, you know what I mean? And I kind of talked to my coach and we kind of had a conversation. And he's like, yeah, no one has never done this before, but listen, if you want to be great, you have to do this again and again. And we kind of sat down and discussed it. I was like, you know what? I need to set myself apart. So no, I put that pressure on myself to make sure, listen, every Olympics, I need to be on my A game, I need to be ready. So it was an internal pressure. It was never what people were saying. Yes, they wanted me to win, but I wanted to win more.
It's like you did want to win more, and it showed. Let's just make it a little more fun, because we talked a little bit about your achievements. I have a question for you. Do you think even that there's anyone, even a younger version of yourself, that could beat your record that still stands, 9.58?
I think not now. I think the records are meant to be broken, so I think over time it will happen, because if you watch the sports, they're developing faster spikes, so I think there will come a kid in the future that will be great, but I don't see it yet.
Not even, okay, if you go back to like your pick of your career, do you think you could have done like I don't know, 57?
I think maybe in 2012, if everything went smoothly, and 2011. I think the year I fall started at the World Championships. I think that year I was doing well, but we got injured later to the end. I feel like that season, my coach, I've never heard my coach say I would break the world record, and he said it that season. So if my season had went smoothly that season, it would have been a season I would have broken the world record again.
Who knows? Yeah. you just cannot know. But what was like a achievement or a race it actually meant the most to you? Was it, the 07? Was it later on? Kind of like a race or an achievement that mean the most to you?
For me, it's actually my World Junior race when I was 15. I won it in Jamaica, and for me, to win in front of your home crowd is one of the biggest achievements you could ever have, and for me, that was big, and I always cherish that race.
Do you do it for your country too?
Yeah, for sure. For me to be, because there were offers and people were saying, if you want to leave, you could leave. We could have left Jamaica if you want, but I grew up just loving the country, and I'm a real patriot, so for me, it's something that I look forward to.
Wow. Well, we talk a lot about your achievements, but I think that one of the most memorable moments that everybody can remember is from 2017, World Champion, where you didn't win. Yeah. Not only you didn't win, you finished third to two Americans, but that's not the point. The point is that when you were done with the race, he bowed to you. You still were defeated, but you were the person of the night. You were again honored by your opponents, and the whole world and the whole crowd went insane just because they respect you so much. What do you recall from this moment? What does this mean for you?
For me, Justin Gatlin, I was on his podcast, and we kind of talked about that moment, and for me it was my last race, and the respect he showed me, I have the same respect for him, because as athletes, we work so hard to compete. And for me, I told him it was one of the biggest joys, compete with him for 6 seasons, you know what I mean? And it was a long 6 years, but he was always pushing, he was always working hard. So for me, I told him, congrats, well done. And I was happy, I told him I was happy that he actually won and not the young kid, because
really?
He was just coming, the kid, what's his name? I don't remember his name, but he was just coming out of college and he was doing well. And I was like, I'm happy that you won and not him.
Coleman?
So yeah, Coleman.
Yes,
yeah,
he came second.
Yeah, so I was like, yo, I'm happy you won and not him, because he was just coming out of college and we were competing against each other for years. And for him to have won, it would have been crazy.
They didn't bother you that you didn't like finish on a high?
No, for me, losing one race kind of affect the legacy that I had placed down, you know what I mean? If I was worried about that, I wouldn't have competed. I've broken my silence about this. Every season before I compete, I go to my doctor, Mother Wolfhard, every season. And I remember walking into his, and he was checking my body and he was like, do not go.
Oh, okay.
He told me,
he called it off.
He told me,
We're
he's
not
like,
going.
do not go to the World Championships. If you go, you're going to get injured. You're not in good shape. You're not ready. And I'm like, Doc, it's my last season. I promised everybody that I was going to compete. There's no way I'm not going to go. Because that was the year one of my best friends died, Jermaine Mason, in the middle of the season. And it kind of broke me for a while that I didn't train, I didn't work. So it kind of set my season back, but I promised the fans that I would compete, so I didn't want to not compete and let the fans down, you know what I mean?
Now I have 2 questions, because that kind of like threw me off. Did you ever thought about quitting even more when this incident with your friend happened?
Yeah, of course. I wanted to stop the season before. After the Olympics in 2008, but everybody was like, no, London is a big stage, it would be good to go out in London. And I was like, all right, I'll compete in London. And this is why I just ran the 100 meters, because that was the plan of the season. I told coach, all right, if we're gonna do this for last season, I'm just gonna run the 100 meters. And after what happened, I kind of said, maybe I should just not compete, you know what I mean? But I kind of made promises to everybody that I would, and I'm not the type of person to try to break my promise, so I kind of just decided that, you know what, at the end I would just try to get into the best shape I possibly could and go compete.
I think that you're not, I mean, I don't want to make this about, like, I don't want to say it for you, you have to say it. Are you not scared of losing?
No, when you go into a competition, it's a part of life. It's one thing, the first thing my coach taught me is you got to learn how to lose before you can learn how to win. Mm-hmm. And losing is a part of the game. When I started, I was never winning everything, but I figured out what I needed to do from the losing to get better. And the moment when I got better, I figured out if you lose, there's always a way to fix and to get better. You know what I mean? It's just a part of the struggle and trying to figure it out.
It's in the schedule of being an athlete type of thing.
Exactly. So when you lose, if you're down on yourself, that's never the thing to do. It's just, what did I do wrong? You know what I mean? How can I be better? How can I not make this happen again? These are the questions you got to ask yourself when you lose. Sit, look over your game plan. As you said, you play ball, so look, what did I do wrong? Did I not take enough shots? Was I not aggressive? These are the things you got to look.
I love that we took it to basketball. Yeah, I have to say that. Thank you. Shout out to basketball.
So that's the thing that you got to just figure out. You know what I mean? And then that's how you get better.
Do you take this whole mindset and use it for your life, day-to-day type thing? Do you talk to younger athletes? Do you think that the younger athletes don't really focus that much on their mentality, but on their bodies?
Yeah, I personally feel so. I try to live my life the same way. I'm always confident in whatever I do. And I think that's the biggest thing about a lot of young athletes. The confidence that they have in their abilities is not the same. And I try to instill and talk to athletes, but you can only tell them so much. They have to apply it to their life, you know what I mean? So for me, I think that's where a lot of athletes are lacking. If they are more confident, then they'll do much better.
Do you reminisce your track and field days? Do you miss it? Do you kind of like wish you could go back, or you were, when you were done, you were done? You're like, all right, did my part, time to enjoy life.
No, when I was done, I was done. But then over the years, I watch a competition. I do miss competing. You know what I mean?
It's in your blood, I think, kind of being competitive.
Yeah, so you see it and I'm like, especially when
I would have done it this way. He turned his body. Do you watch the Olympics and you're like, you were slower there because you turned your side.
Sometimes I break it down, especially when I call my coach. We tend to discuss, like I'll call him after a race and say, yo, especially like the athletes that he coached, I would say, yo, do you feel like he could have done this better, or did he execute here? Because then I break the race down. It's just natural for me. So, but it's something I miss. It's competing, something I miss. So.
Do you want to do it? Become a coach, track and field? We would love to have you in Greece, by the way, if you're interested. We could tell people he is up for it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think one of the toughest things, I watch my coach now, and my coach is not as tough as he used to be, and it's weird. And he's like, it's harder now, because a lot of athletes, it's patience is such a key thing, being a coach. And I think I'm learning a little bit more because I have kids now, so you have to be patient with them. But you have to have a lot of patience as a coach, because if you explain something to an athlete and you have to keep doing it over and over again, it takes patience and understanding. And I don't think I have that much patience to deal with all of that. So maybe when I'm way older, I'll look into it.
You're young. You're still very young. Yeah. Do you want to see your kids in track and field or different sports?
I hope one of them, I want at least one to do sports.
You do?
I hope so. I can only hope. You know what I mean? I'm not going to press them to do sports, but I hope one of them, I'll try to lead them that way.
Do you... I mean, since we're in Greece, I really want to ask if you, now that you watch the Olympics, if you've seen an athlete, it doesn't have to be a 100-meter runner, it could be anything that has impressed you. I'll say it simply. We do have a few good ones. I don't want to put you on the spot. It's fine if you don't. I'm just like, I have to shoot my shot.
For me, Noah Laws is the confidence that he exudes. I respect that.
You respect that?
Yeah.
I think you're all about like the confidence type of thing.
Yeah, because, listen, this is why he's going to be one of the best. Because he believes. He doesn't just guess or no, he believes he's going to win. Even if he's not the best in the race, he believes. And that's the first step. Coach always said to me, listen, if you go on the line feeling you're not going to win, you're probably not going to win.
It's true.
So you have to go believing, no matter how good the person next to you or the team is better, you have to go believing you're gonna win. You know what I mean? And he believes at all time. And for me, I like that because I kind of see myself in him in a little way. He's a little bit more confident than me.
Okay, cool. I'd love to be him now. Since we're talking about confidence and since you're done with track and field, we've seen you know, do music, a little bit of soccer. But now let's go back to the collaboration thing. I just want you to tell us, what was it about that made you say yes? And is this the kind of brand that you want to align with because it has to do with time, with speed? Is it personal to you?
Well, time is always a big factor. But at the beginning, we were, I would say, a young brand together. And we kind of had the same energy, you know what I mean? Hublot was a brand that was growing really well and was doing the right things. We have done so much work together throughout the years, especially with charity work. They always give towards my charity, and that's something big for me. And as a brand, they have done so much for the community and the world, and I'm happy to be aligned with such a brand because it has the same as me, and this is what we want to do.
That's perfect. Yeah. One last question. Do you want people to talk about you and your legacy with a certain way? What would that be? What do you want people to remember you from? If we could take something out of Γιουσέιν Μπολτ in this life with everything that you've done and given us, what would that be?
No, for me, my aim is to, when they speak about great athletes, I should always be in that conversation. That's something that I work hard for and I really push. That's what I want my legacy to be. When they're talking about Muhammad Ali and Michael Jordans and the Ronaldo, Messy, all these guys of greats of their sports. I want to be in that conversation, and that's the legacy I try to leave. So people always talk about the greats.
Well, you are, so you made it.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
It was a pleasure having you, and this conversation was just a pleasure.